Hello and welcome back to Paranormal NL Podcast, located in Newfoundland and Labrador, Canada. That's PNL Podcast for short. I'm your host and founder, Jen Noseworthy. Thank you for tuning in to UPRN, United Public Radio Network, 107.7 FM in New Orleans and 105.3 out and at Gulf. For tonight's Texas Front Porch Special on UPRN PNL Podcast segment number 47. I've got a special guest tonight waiting backstage from Fort Worth, Texas, who I'll bring on shortly. Now it's time to grab your favorite cold one, maybe some sweet tea, a few munchies, and get ready for a cryptid creature and a paranormal show tonight. Paranormal NL Podcast is sponsored by the Bog Team. It's a boots on the ground Bog Team doing historical paranormal investigations in Newfoundland and Labrador, Canada. Bog Team music heard in the PNL Podcast intro and exit is available for download on all social media and music streaming platforms. PNL Podcast believes in supporting international paranormal networking and highlighting global paranormal people, places, and things all over the world. Now, follow PNL Podcast and the Bog Team on their socials and Linktree at Paranormal NL Podcast. Check out their merch and smash that subscribe button. Now, we've got tonight on the stage, here he is, Mr. Tex Wessen, all the way from Fort Worth. Welcome.
Howdy, how you doing?
Howdy, howdy. Thanks for coming on the show today, Tex.
It's my pleasure. My pleasure. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, it's good having you on. Now, tell us, the listeners now for United Public Radio Network all over the world here, who you are and all about Texas Front Porch.
Well, my name's Tex Wessen, and the Texas Front Porch, it's TX''S, folks.
Yeah.
So, it's, and I didn't think that would throw a lot of people, but it does. Because they look up, the state of Texas front porch, but it's my front porch. So, yeah, I'm over on YouTube and anywhere you can find a podcast, really. But it didn't even, my show didn't even start out as, just wanting to talk about stuff. I actually started out co-hosting for some other folks and doing some other stuff for them. And was doing, most people call it boots on the ground. I call it butts in the brush research.
I love that.
And I don't know, people just kind of started coming over and watching stuff, and I started doing different things, and here we are, because I do everything from Bigfoot, Dogman, paranormal to true crime, so
yeah, anything that's interesting to talk about. Now, I know down in your neck of the woods, you got all kinds of weirdness, right? We got the chupacabra, we got all kinds of coy wolves and all kinds of critters on the go. What's some kind of critters that you've had people chatting about on your show?
You name it. We've had researchers from all over the world, literally, come on the show.
Have you had any of your own experiences, Tex? Like, what got you into this?
I had my first cryptid experience when I was 16.
16, okay.
16. Yeah. And I tell people all the time, I wish it had been a Bigfoot experience. It would have been a whole lot easier to explain.
Okay.
Because I run into a dogman.
Ooh.
And the term dogman didn't even exist. It wasn't even coined at that point, because I'm 58, so I'm old enough to fart dust. So that was a day or two ago. But yeah, I was walking home from hunting, and I was about to jump the fence and go make a beeline to the house across our pasture. And if you can't tell, I'm an old country boy. And this thing, and the sun was still up. I mean, it was about sundown, but this thing come running out of the brush on my left-hand side and run across the road in front of me and dove over. It was on two legs. It dove over our barbed wire fence and went down and went into our field and went down to all fours, real smooth transition, and I saw the grass move for a little bit, and it was tall grass, and I saw the grass move, and he was gone. But
Wow.
it was only about 25, 35 feet in front of me. So there's
Right.
no mistaking what I saw, you know.
Now,
And
when you saw it, did it look kind of human to you? Because a lot of people say about, the face and all that good stuff. Or did you smell it coming first? Is it right?
I never knew it was coming. Never knew it was coming. It just busted out of the brush in a full run. And it had
Was it like mesquite
human-like
type brush
quality.
or that you were
Say
in?
again?
Was it mesquite type of brush that you were in?
No,
Mesquite?
it was mainly oaks
Oh,
and some brambles and stuff like that.
yeah.
So that. But yeah, I've never been asked that question. That's great.
Because
Because where
down in
I'm at,
Texas, when you say brush, that could mean several different things. Because
it
could be
could.
out walking around, and it could be just a bunch of like cat prickly pears or something, right?
Yeah, yeah. That's more South Texas kind of terrain, South and West Texas.
Yeah.
But up here, there's a lot of oak, and I mean we got there's quite a bit of I guess what you could call forest or woods or wilderness.
Yeah.
And up here, because I'm in north central Texas.
Yeah.
So we actually have more than tumbleweeds to pass us on the highway down here.
Do you think he was looking for some cattle and stuff? Because y'all got a lot of stuff like that up around Fort Worth.
Well, this didn't happen in Fort Worth. I grew up outside of Fort Worth.
Okay, I was thinking it was around there, like Dallas.
It was about an hour northwest of Fort Worth where I grew up.
Okay.
And it was out on the old family place. So it was, the place I hunted, it belonged to another old boy, but I had permission to go on there and everything. It was 1,600 acres. And then on the other side of the road, we had like a 10,000 acre ranch. So, I mean, there was a lot of territory out there,
Now,
and our little 20 acre place was
you
stuck out.
mentioned hunting. I've heard a lot of people say that there's a lot of I wouldn't call them accidentals, but a lot of other things that people bring there, like new guy. Am I pronouncing that right? And people come in on helicopters and all kinds of stuff and go hunting there on big ranches after those, right?
Yeah, well, we have a bad pig problem.
Oh yeah,
Bad pig
they're
problem.
dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
We didn't have that issue back when I was, that young, but now we do.
Oh yeah, I mean, you go camping, sure, and you hear the woods rustling, and sure enough, pigs, or even just traveling, from the Rio Grande Valley up to even just a Corpus. We almost got hit a whole family of pigs crossing the road. It was wicked.
Yeah, we that's really the biggest. That's one of the big reasons I even carry a sidearm when I go camping, because it's such a big pig problem, and I worry about.
There's lots of stuff for it to eat. That's why I mentioned all these different things, all these different animals. There's lots of big game for it to go hunt.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we would always hear stories about, a calf come up missing, or a mare drop a foal and they get tore up or go missing or whatever.
Right. And you think,
Chickens
okay,
or
maybe a big
dogs
cat or something, because there are big cat sightings down there. I've had.
Oh
I've had it.
Oh yeah, we have big cats. We've got
Yep.
they're rare, but they move through their territory, and we'll see them every few months, because I think a big cat has about 350 square miles of territory.
Yep.
Okay. And they just continually move through it, so they don't run out the game, in one area.
And if they're in their prime habitat with the tall grass and a river, the Rio Grande River is perfect for them to hang out around. And I was around an area one time and had this, sick feeling, and I saw some scat, and I was like, that ain't like pig scat. It's not. I was trying to figure out, what is that? And then, the next day in the newspaper, here somebody got a picture of a big cat there. And this was back before AI. I was like, oh my God. I was standing there in the bushes and felt the heebie-jeebies. No wonder I wanted to leave, right?
And that's something too, because you can, a lot of times, people talk about, oh, I feel like I'm not alone when I'm out in the woods, whatever.
Yes.
Well, it doesn't, and all, most of the time they want to say, oh, it was Bigfoot or it was Dogman, whatever. Not necessarily,
Yeah,
any,
because we've got that sixth sense, even though
we
some
do.
people think, oh, I don't have that. Yeah, you do. Right?
It do,
Yep.
and it may be just be asleep, but see, it works in different ways too, even in the city, because when you're walking around at night or you go to the store at night and you feel like you're being watched, you probably are.
Yep.
So pay attention to it. Do not ignore it. If you do it,
It could be eyeballs, but it could be any kind of eyeballs, human,
absolutely,
animal, right? Ghosty.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's people need to pay attention because that's a primal instinct that we have, and it's there for a reason, and we need to use it to our best ability.
Tex, after you had your encounter, as a teenager, did you go back to that area and look around for like footprints, or is that how it got you into this, or like?
When I had that experience,
Or were you like, oh hell no, I ain't going back there?
well, I'll tell you, when I had the experience, it set me back on my heels for almost a year. I didn't go anywhere. I wouldn't go anywhere. I was scared for the first time, really, in my life, as far as going out.
Yep.
And but finally, I just got mad. I felt like I was being bullied. I couldn't do what I wanted to. And I said, I'm not going to take this anymore. And I started going out little, baby steps. And I finally ended up doing what I was doing again. And about a year later,
you got back up on that horse. That's what
I got back up on the horse,
right?
and I was out. I actually had a second encounter.
Oh.
With what I believe was the same thing. Now I don't know because I didn't see it this time.
Now, were you ambulatory walking, or were you on a quad or something? You were walking.
No, I was. These are all walking.
Yep. Okay.
But I was actually going on to the place that I was talking about that I hunted. It was,
Yeah.
And I was just about to jump the fence and go over on the property. And this property, he had half of it done in hayfield, and he had half of it he hadn't touched. So it was really, really thick. And in fact, you had to travel the game trails anywhere you wanted to go. And it was really cool because it would open up into these clearings that had just like, 1.5 foot prairie grass in it. And that's it, maybe a scrub oak. But they were the sizes of these clearings went anywhere from just enough room to pitch a tent to the footprint of a small house. So it was fantastic. And the game was just unbelievable. So that's where I was going. And I was about to run up a tree that had fell over the fence and jump over the fence and go into the place. And I heard what I thought was somebody walking in the woods. And I said, hey, is that somebody out there? And it stopped. And then I said, hey, if that's somebody out there, let me know. And it just kind of shifted its weight. And I knew a set of twins that lived on the other side of this place. And so I thought, well, maybe it's one of them, And I said, David, Doug, is that one of y'all? Let me know. And it just shifted its weight. So and now by this time I'm getting flashbacks, right? I'm starting to get spooked again.
Yeah, because you can hear you could tell it was on two legs when you said shifted its feet. Right? Okay.
Right. So I said, look, if you don't say something, I'm going to shoot.
Was it behind you or paralleling you?
No, it was in front of me.
Okay.
I was about to go where it was.
It was coming towards you, kind of thing?
Yeah. And I said, if you don't say something, I'm going to shoot. And it didn't do nothing. So I fired a round off in the air. Probably not the best decision of my life, right?
Well, that would scare away most things, though.
Well, you would think.
Yeah.
Well, this thing came running towards me through the trees, and it was breaking limbs and everything. And I just tucked tail and I ran. I didn't look back. It was probably a mile back to the house. I didn't even run. I didn't slow down. I didn't stop. Didn't look back. Nothing. So that spooked me, and I quit going out for a little while, but not quite as long as it took me the first time.
How far did it follow you, Tex?
Well, I don't know that it was following me. I think
It made a rush at you. Yeah.
Well, I think because I don't know.
You're like, I'm booking it, man. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I wasn't going
I
to sit
would
there
have
and
done the
conversation.
same thing. Yeah.
But
Okay.
looking back, I wish I'd have done things differently. Knowing now what I knew, if I knew then what I know now, top thing.
And this was in the same area?
Mm-hmm.
Near.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was about roughly a mile from where I had my sighting.
Okay.
So, in fact, it was where I was coming from when I had my sighting.
Was there any water around there at the time? Like,
Oh
is there
yeah,
a body of water that would attract something big like that?
Oh yeah, there's a spring-fed pond right there, and
okay, yeah, all right,
plenty of game, and of course you got horse ranches all over the place and cattle ranches.
Yeah.
So, but
I mean, not many things when you fire a gun is going to come at you.
Right.
When it comes to game, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And you know what? And it very well could have been going off to the side or another direction. Honestly, it was just making a bunch of noise, and I thought it was coming towards me, and I just ran.
You were like, "Oh, Jurassic Park, I'm out of here."
Absolutely, absolutely. And so I didn't go back out for a while, and I got to thinking. I said, "This thing's had 2 chances to kill me, and it didn't." All it did was the first time when I saw it, it turned its head and it growled at me, jumped over our fence, and ran off.
Now, the majority of people who I've talked to said they warn you to go away because you might be in their fishing ground or where they're hanging out. But, I've also heard the opposite, where they actually tear the crap out of your car and stuff and cabin. So I wonder, and they follow you back to where you were. Obviously, like a dog would smell you and come after you. It makes you wonder.
It does. It does. In fact, I'm doing a friend of mine sent me a TikTok video of all freaking things about a study that was done on dogs and their owners and the connection between them. And it got me to thinking, and I'm one of these people where I pull a string and the whole thing starts to unravel and I go down rabbit holes. And when I started thinking about this video, and because it was a study done back in the probably early 90s, because they were using beepers to conduct the study.
Okay, yeah, like Pavlov's dog or something.
Yeah. So what they did was they had cameras monitoring the dogs at home. Okay, and it was double blind. They had cameras monitoring the dogs at home, and then they had the owners have a beeper, and then they had somebody at a base that these owners would go away at least 5 miles away,
right?
And then when their beeper went off, they had different numbers that would come across. They had beepers go off, and it would signal them to, okay, I'm going to come home now. Okay, so. And then they would watch the dog's reaction when the owner made the decision to go home. The dog would get up and go to the door.
Right.
Okay. And then if they sent another page to the owner, saying, okay, stop or make a stop or go or turn around, go back to where you were. The dog would go back and lay down like there was nothing going
on. Yeah. It makes me think of like Caesar Milan and those kind of things. Like if you're calm, they're calm. If you're anxious, they pick up on all that, right?
Right. But think of the connection that's got to be there, because you're talking about a dog that is at home and their owner is at least 5 miles away. And it's and it can pick up on the owner's decision to come home and goes to the door to wait. Not when they hear the vehicle approach.
Yeah, that was going to be my question because my eyes were going, could it be the vehicle? Because I could hear it maybe
Mhm.
5 miles away because they got great ears. It makes you wonder.
Yeah, this was and the thing about the weird thing about it is one of the weird things about it is when they would get another beep if they were on the way home, the dog, and the dog reacted and, oh, Papa or Mama's coming home, right?
Right.
And then they would send another page to the owner and say, okay, turn around, go back to where, go back. When that decision was made by the owner to turn around and go back, the dog lost interest and went and laid back down.
Yeah, it does make you wonder. How are they connected like that?
Right, right.
But my
So
next question was going to be, have you gone back to that place in the woods and brought a dog whistle?
I have not done that.
That would
Um,
either piss them off or
yeah,
attract them.
that unfortunately, though, that my sister still lives out there on the old family place, but it's not what
Yeah.
it used to be. A lot of people
Okay.
have moved in.
Yeah.
We're getting a rush of
Yeah.
people moving into Texas, and they're turning. I grew up working on horse and cattle ranches, and honestly, a lot of them they're selling out, and then they're turning their, these developers are buying them, and they're turning them into, subdivisions. It's just horrible. It breaks
Yeah.
my heart.
That's really
But
sad.
yeah, but so it's not the place that I grew up, anymore. It's just not. But I had a third encounter with what I believe was this thing, and it was a little while later. And my parents were out of town, and I was at home by myself. I was about 17 when this took place, and I was at home over the weekend by myself, and it storming. I mean, bad. It is a frog strangler, and lightning, real bad lightning and everything. And I love storms. Okay,
They
so
can
I'm
come
watching.
on pretty fast, can't they?
Oh yeah, they can.
Yeah. Yeah.
So and I'm watching the storms. I'm looking out the window, and stuff, and I'm looking out the kitchen window, and I'm watching the lightning and everything, and at our back fence, we had a power line running down our back fence, so we had a series of power poles. And next to this power pole, I see something next to it when the lightning would flash. And I'm like,
Hmm.
what is that? It looked like somebody standing out there in the rain. And I'm like,
Yep.
what in the world? So I watched this thing, and every time the lightning flashes, it changes like position.
Hmm.
It'll lean on the pole. Sometimes it'll just stand there, that type of thing. So again, I start having flashbacks. Why, and it's raining. I mean, it's bad. I'm like, what are you doing? And
Was it
so,
a person or what?
see, I couldn't tell. I
Okay.
couldn't.
Yeah.
Um, so I start getting scared again. I got really scared. I went and got my dag gun, loaded it up, and I called a friend of mine from high school. I went to
Right.
school with,
Yeah.
and I said, "Hey, man, this is going on." And he thought I was playing a joke on him and trying to, and he was like, "Oh, you wimp, go back. Leave me alone. I ain't got time for this." Hung up. So I stayed up until I passed out on the couch holding my daddy's gun. I mean, just
Oh.
fell asleep. Like sitting up like this. Um,
Like I say, all Texans
right,
would, right? I mean,
right.
get off
So,
my lawn, right?
yeah. So the next morning, I get up and I go out there and I went and to see if I could see any sign, any tracks or anything like that around, where it was. Of course, hard rain, nothing.
Yeah,
Right.
wiped out. Yeah.
So I think I either had a serial killer stalking me outside my in the middle of the freaking country, or that was this thing again.
Oh my
So
gosh. Maybe it was
yeah,
seeking shelter. It wanted you to let him in, like a dog would.
I don't think so, because I
No.
mean we had barns and sheds and everything. We had places if it wanted to stand under, a lean to, it could,
Now, I've
so
never heard Bigfoot or Dogman equated to like lightning and that, but I have obviously everybody's heard orbs, right? But you never
Oh
seen
yeah.
no orbs around with it or anything, did you?
No, no,
Okay.
never did. You know what? Back then, I wouldn't know what a orb was to save
Right.
my
Yeah, no,
life.
that
So,
wasn't even a word back then, was it?
you know,
Right. Do you
but
know how tall it was or anything? Or like,
yeah, it was roughly about 7.5 feet tall.
okay, that's pretty tall. That's
Yeah.
basketball
Now it
tall.
wasn't big and burly. It
Yeah.
had a big barrel chest, but
Yeah.
it had narrow hips. It was built more like a an NBA player. You hear that a
Right.
lot, you know. Um, but
Muscular. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, it was muscular, but not like Arnold Schwarzenegger or Conan the Barbarian type thing.
And it was more animalistic and not more like it didn't have a hat on or anything like that, like Hat Man
No,
looking at her.
no, no, no.
No. Oh, okay.
You know,
Yeah. I
this
thought I'd
thing.
throw that out there if you thought maybe it was a shadow man or something. Yeah. But
No,
that's a
this
popular one.
thing. What if it was the same thing that the other two encounters were, or what I believe what you know? But I felt in my heart that's what it was, you know.
Yeah.
So kind of got the same feeling, being scared, you know.
Yeah.
Now a lot of people talk about the dread and you know and all that kind of stuff they experience when they see a dog man. They even call it dog man sickness. So,
Okay, I've never heard of that before.
yeah, it's an overwhelming sense of dread and fear, and just like evil, just 10 times over, you know, that you feel. And I did not experience any of that. I was scared, sure, but
Right.
who wouldn't be,
Was
right?
that the last time you felt like that? Or, that's three now you described.
Yeah, that's the only three times that it's the only three times that I encountered that. Uh,
Okay.
and I really didn't talk about it, you know, aside from family. And we didn't talk about it very often. It would come up,
Yeah,
but
because back then nobody talked about, cryptids or paranormal, did they? Right?
no, no, no,
Yeah.
no. Luckily, my family's from Texarkana, Texas.
Yeah.
So there were, I was hearing stories about the Boggy Creek Monster before the film ever came out of the Legend of Boggy Creek. Because we grew up and I had family in that area.
Now, for the folks listening, tell us about the legend of Boggy Creek.
The Legend of Boggy Creek. This took place back in the 70s and or early 60s. No, late 60s. I'm sorry, but the film came out I think in 72, and it was very very low budget, but it's still my favorite. It's still my favorite Bigfoot movie because it hit
There were
close
some
to home.
of the good ones, though, right? Even though they were low budget, you never know.
Right.
Yeah.
And it really took the drive-ins and the theaters by storm when it came out.
Right.
But it was true accounts. It was a movie based on true events. It even used a lot of the same people that had the accounts in the movie. So the acting is horrible, right? But it's not. They're not. 90% of them aren't professional actors. They're just the people that actually had the encounters. So
Okay, there you go. That's even better.
it's more of a
It's more.
pseudo documentary.
Yes. Yeah.
You
Okay.
know,
Yeah. More believable.
yeah, recreations is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So I was hearing stories about this critter, and it's a Bigfoot type creature that roams around in the swamps down there. Is what it is. There's still encounters today. You know, my good friend William Lunsford researches up there, and yeah, it's still up there. Buddy of mine, Lyle Blackburn, you know, just had wrote a couple of books about the thing, you know, because he knows that. In fact, he had his first encounter, his first sighting up there going to a conference.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was really cool.
So tell us more about the legend. What is it for the folks who don't know what it is listening around the world?
Well, it was a Bigfoot type creature. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
And it was basically walking around in the swamps, harassing people. It killed some dogs, stole a couple of pigs, really rattled the cage of some girls that were staying at home one night. in a trailer house because it was walking around the trailer house, banging on the trailer house, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Well, then the coup de grace was when it attacked this house that these people were staying in. There was these two women, their small children, and their brother-in-law that was there. The two husbands were out at work.
Right.
And this thing started coming up on the porch and actually busted through the bathroom window and tried to get the guy that was sitting on the toilet.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
Can you imagine?
And then also put its hand through the living room window.
No.
And then got a hold of the brother-in-law out on the porch and almost killed him. Put him in such a state of shock that they had to take him to the hospital. So, and I mean, this is very, very well-known legend out there. I mean, it's become such a legend that in the town, and this took place in Fouke, Arkansas, which is you could spit real hard and hit it from Texarkana. Okay. But now in Fouke, Arkansas, there's a Monster Mart. They've embraced it.
Okay. Monster Mart.
I'll tell you a little something that ties back to the Dogman, because I spoke at the Fouke conference last year.
Right.
And when I was up there, I'd never been to the Monster Mart, so I went to the Monster Mart. I walked in. It's got basically two rooms, right? And I walked through the doorway of the second room and froze in my tracks, because in that second room there's a life-size bust of a dog man.
Oh.
And it looked very, very, very close to what I encountered.
Similar to what you saw.
Yes.
Now, your dog man, did he have, I know this is Bigfoot over here, but did he have any kind of bareness on his face, or was it more his nose, more like a snout? It
was a blunt, shorter snout. It wasn't the long wolf snout or German Shepherd snout or anything like that.
Like a pug snout.
It was
flat.
Kind of, I guess, not pug, but a little bit longer than a boxer, maybe a pit-like thing. You know?
Okay, yeah, gotcha.
But it rattled me. It rattled me. One of the weird things about it is the hands they were human-like, but they were not human. It looked like a cross. If you took a cross between a raccoon hand and a human hand.
Mm-hmm. So long fingers.
Yeah.
Were the arms really long? Like longer than normal?
Not that I remember. No. Yeah. You know, and every time I draw it, I draw it without a tail. I don't remember a tail.
That's a good idea that you drew it right away afterwards.
But yeah, it didn't have all these gnarly looking teeth. A lot of people, when they talk about their dogman experience, they talk about all these gnarly looking teeth just all over the place. It wasn't like that at all. It's very, very canine like, as far as the teeth goes, and the eyes. They weren't, but nothing special. They weren't like yellow or red or green or anything.
Some people try to say it's a bear with mange or something. What's your theory on that?
Yeah, no.
For somebody who has experienced it, there you go. No, not a bear with mange.
Yeah, no. This thing ran like a human. It did not waddle like a bear.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When this thing was 25 to 30 feet in front of me, and I was walking. I was on.
I hear a lot that in Texas that people talk about shapeshifters, like skinwalker kind of thing.
I can't say it wasn't. I don't know. But the thing, people talk about
here in Canada, we get that a lot on Spirit Box.
Oh, I bet you do.
We do. Yeah.
You know what gets me?
Wendigos.
People talk about dogmen versus werewolves and the difference, and they know the difference. How do you know? Because I don't know anybody that's got a pet dogman that just hangs out, and you're going to see if he changes or not. Or I don't know personally anybody that is or knows a werewolf that knows exactly what they look like. You know, I just, you're not going to convince me that, oh, I know the difference. How do you know the difference? Well, so-and-so said, no, don't tell me so-and-so says, or whatever show you listen to, or
Right.
who you believe. That's fine. If you have your beliefs and your opinions, that's fine. Present them as such, not
Right.
fact. Quit telling people you know, because you don't. But yeah, I won't get up on my soapbox. But it will rattle you. But I think it.
Yeah, unless you've had that experience, you can't really explain it 100% to
Yeah,
somebody else how you felt, right? Just the
no,
same
no,
way when you have other paranormal experiences until it happens, like,
right.
there's always going to be the Mulder and the Scully. And then
Hmm.
even if you have an experience like Mulder, you're still going to be Scully, right? Like, what
You need to be.
WTF happened, right?
Yeah, you need to be. You need to be your own worst skeptic, because if you just start throwing blurry, blurry pictures of trees and shadows up there, drawing red circles around them, red circles are
Pareidolia,
mine.
right? Like, you can see anything that you want to see,
Yeah.
you know?
Pareidolia, people don't understand how pareidolia, sorry.
And it's the
Um,
same thing, text with an EVP. I won't say what it is
Absolutely.
until you say what it is, because if I say it, then you're going to hear what I said, right?
Right, right. That is exactly right. Because if I need a red circle around a picture for you to show me what you're seeing,
Sorry.
it's not there.
It just
I'm
makes me think of, like, at the, when you go to, I don't know, a police lineup, or they want to give you, and you have
right.
different renditions, if you're doing an investigation. Because I used to do, co-investigations with the police when I worked for the state of Texas. And you get so many different renditions of the same thing. And they said that we're there at the same time. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
So many different opinions on what they saw,
Mhm.
right?
Absolutely. And I get beat up all the time about um, my stance on red circles. Show me your picture
Yeah.
that has nothing. Show me the original picture.
Right.
Okay.
I don't want to
And
see the enhanced one with,
yeah, I don't want to see you've ran through 9,000 filters, turned it sideways, and I have to squint and hold one foot in the air and flop my arms like a chicken to see what you're looking at. Okay, I'm just saying. Odds are there's nothing there. Now, I will say this, and this goes with my own evidence. Okay, you weren't there. You didn't see what I saw with my naked eye, and seeing something with the naked eye and seeing it on camera is two different things.
yeah.
Okay. So I'm not saying that you didn't have an encounter. I'm not saying you didn't see anything. What I'm saying is I can't see what you're seeing.
Right. Yeah.
Okay?
There's so many different reporting methods too
Right.
to report these things. I mean, do you want to talk about some of the places where you can report stuff? Or do you
Well,
want
you can report it to Texas Front Porch.
there you go. There you go. Love it. Because I was thinking about, like, other people who do the research. Like, there's so many different, like, Dogman Institute. I got to give a shout out, to Al
Oh
Santalena.
yeah. Yeah.
And we mentioned JRG off camera, the Jevening research group.
Yeah. We've got a
Google
whole
it, right?
group that we lovingly call ourselves the Island of Misfit Toys. We have there's several members that we're all just a bunch of friends. We ended up doing YouTube and conferences, and we just became friends. So we're all kind of hanging out together, and we're from all over the country, and it's we have we have different views on these critters. We have different views on the subject. So it's not like you're going to get just one thing and one opinion from us. And we don't agree. Most of us, we don't agree on a lot of stuff. Like I said, we had different views and stuff, different religious beliefs. And I think that helps because I wasn't the first to do this, but I think I was among the first to do this. We had, when I started doing cryptid research, which was many, many, many years later after my encounters, because honestly, I didn't want nothing to do with them.
I fell into outer space for a second. Sorry, y'all.
Oh, hey, I got you covered.
That's the wildfires.
See, that's the great thing about having a guest that's actually a host. So
yes, I was going to say that because off air I was like, if you lose me, you know what to do.
No, I just took the ball and ran with it.
Yeah, yeehaw.
But I was talking about the research and all this kind of stuff, and how our group came together. That we, like I said, we lovingly call them ourselves the Misfit Toys, and we've met over doing conferences and doing YouTube and everything like that. And we go out and we go research together. We go to conferences together. We're putting a conference together.
Can
the whole night.
About your conference now, because we got about 20 minutes left or so, but I'd love for you to talk about your conference.
Well, it's called the Crossing Realms Conference. We didn't want to do a Bigfoot. We didn't want to do a Dogman. We didn't want to do a paranormal. We didn't want to do UFO. So we just brought everything, right? So there's a smorgasbord of stuff that you're going to be able to experience at the conference. Unfortunately, it's September 19th and 20th. Okay.
And I know that this show was on a little bit later, September 30th, but I wanted to talk about it because of the guests. I want to do some shout outs because the person who introduced me to you was Brent Thomas from Paranormal Portal.
Oh,
and he, he's going to be there as a guest. And so is Mike, I see I pronounce it right, Philemont, but he's coming on. He's coming on Paranormal Inno podcast shortly. And of course, I've had Ron Murphy. He was on back in season 2. And I had Sir Brian Bowden. He was on a bunch of times. The last time he was on was season 3, episode 4. So shout outs to all those people and every other cryptid person who I've had on the show and UFO person. But yeah, I mean, Crossing Realms, tell us a little bit more about what you're going to be doing there.
I am MC. I am Masters of Ceremonies.
Nice.
None of our group is speaking because it's you can hear us talk about stuff anytime, I guess, but we're not actually counting ourselves as a speaker in our own conference. We didn't want to do that. But I'm going to MC the thing, and the whole island, most of the Island of Misfit Toys are going to be able to make it, which is the Blondes and
Blondes and Boos, yeah, they're coming on my show too.
Well, see, there you go.
Shout out to Blondes and Boos.
This is who the Island of Misfit Toys is made up of so far. You have Texas Front Porch. You have the Blondes and Boos. You have Our Paranormal World with Monica Rollins. You have, of course, Bigfoot Michigan Rob with Bigfoot Michigan Rob.
Oh, I love Rob. Yeah, he was coming on soon on the show too.
Donnie Cho with Donnie Cho Says Stuff.
Yeah.
Jason McLean with Siru Papers. Danielle Diva from Tea Time with Danielle Diva. She's very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. You also have Brent Thomas. We welcome him into the fold. Maybe welcome him into the fold is a little bit too. We kidnapped him into the fold.
You kidnapped him. How did Island of Misfits come about, and why is it called that?
Okay, that was me.
That was you.
So my favorite Christmas movie is Rudolph.
Okay.
And the Island of Misfit Toys, and Rudolph, and it's the old one. I was watching it when I was in.
It's the one that looks like they're Play-Doh or something.
Yeah, it's Stop Claymation is what it is. Yeah. And so their mission or whatever ends up being there's an Island of Misfit Toys, and it's all these weird toys that don't have a home, and they end up helping them find a home. Okay. And it's really a story about feeling like you don't belong. Okay, feeling like you don't fit in.
Like all of us paranormal folks, right?
Absolutely.
We love our parafamilies.
Absolutely. So I started calling our group the Island of Misfit Toys because we really don't fit in anywhere, right? half our families think we're crazy. So, you know,
I love it.
so I just started calling it, that one time, and it just kind of stuck,
Yeah, fun
But
stuff. Love it. And I bet everybody who went to the conference is going to have a lot of stories afterwards to talk about with all the guests and stuff.
I guarantee you, if you make it to, especially the pre-party, because this thing, we were going to have like a little 1-day conference. This
Right.
thing is now a 3-day event.
Nice.
Okay. It snowballed on us.
It's going to be a party.
It is, because Thursday night, we're having an actual pre-party, and it's a karaoke party.
Oh my God. That's going to be hilarious. How did you get it? Why is it over in Richmond?
Well, Paul with Paranormal Among Us, which is another one of the Misfits,
Yeah.
the Blondes and Booze, they're all from Missouri.
Yeah.
And I'm down here in Texas, and let's see, Randy, which is Truth or Tinfoil, another member of the island, Jason, and we're all from Texas. So we were trying to find a place that was centrally located in the U.S., okay, but had some history, and of course needed the location to fit our needs and all this kind of stuff. Well, just so happens that Richmond, Missouri is also home to a haunted museum.
Oh, yes. Okay.
So we're having it at the fairgrounds that houses the haunted museum.
Fun.
So we are having a celebrity ghost hunt.
Oh, I love it.
Night of the conference.
Yeah.
At the museum. We're having we're having a right after the conference, in between the conference and the ghost hunt.
Yeah.
We're having a gallery reading by Mary Lynn Bast, which is she's very, very good. She's one of the two. Okay, I'll say one of the three.
One of the three?
One of the three psychics that I am on total board with. Okay. She's scary good. I'm just going to say, Danielle Diva's another one. Brian Bowden is the third one. Because he told me these people told me stuff that I never talked about.
Oh.
So I'm like, it's not like somebody told you, right?
Right.
So, anyway, Marilyn Bass is doing a gallery reading Friday night. That's Saturday. Friday night we're having a meet and greet. So we're going to have dinner and drinks. We're going to have 2 film screenings. Greg Ogles is going to screen his new documentary, and Chris Garitano is going to screen his new documentary.
Oh, it's going to be fun.
So, and we've got speakers on Friday night too. So, and Friday night everybody's going to be able to mingle. It's going to be a cocktail type party, but it's not a cocktail party. It's a pizza Coke party, right? So,
I love it.
Yeah, it's blew up, and you can find tickets on Eventbrite, and we're still looking for vendors. There are going to be vendors, of course, of course, the horses, of course, but it's going to have something for everybody. It really is. I'm really excited about it. Like I said, it snowballed on us, but that's okay.
Tex, you want to give a shout out to all your followers and let people know where they can find you, Texas Front Porch?
Absolutely. We call them the Porchers. Okay.
The Porchers.
The Porchers.
Not a porker, a porcher. Okay.
Yeah, Porcher. Porcher.
Sweet tea drinking porcher.
Yeah, there you go.
And you got to have a rocking chair out there too now, folks.
You know what? I do.
Yeah.
And I love my rocking chair.
Oh, yeah.
I love my rocking chair. I love my tea.
I got one out in my porch too, up here in Canada.
Go. Did you know, fun fact, did you know that a rocking chair is the healthiest chair?
Oh, yeah, I can imagine. And it's even great for the STs method. Shout out to paranormal stuff.
Good things all around.
That's right.
Yeah. Real quick, I want to talk about, I think I can squeeze this in. I don't get on air and talk about this stuff. I do go investigate. We are doing a private investigation on a 2,000 acre piece of 2,000 acre land, private land. Okay. There's nothing but cows and gas wells on this place, and it's locked up. Okay. But they had reports of dogman. They came to us. They found me at a conference, and the couple needed help. They look, we got dogman, we got something else going on, all this kind of stuff. Can you help us? They had other researchers come out there, get scared and leave. Oh. We have now been out there probably a half a dozen times, and when we go out there, we don't go out there and well, I don't consider boots on the ground, butts in the brush, going out, walking around for a couple hours, jump scaring at everything that makes noise. That's not researching. No. That's not researching. No. We go out there and we spend a week out there.
Do you put out trail cams and everything too?
We put out trail cams. We put out audio recordings. We go around at night. My favorite thing is solo. Yes. I'll take off out in the woods solo by myself.
Now, Tex, have you done solo on a horse? Because they say that if you're on an animal like that, then it won't spook other animals.
The only thing that would spook a horse, me doing research on the back of a horse, is me getting on the horse. Okay, the horse is going to look at me and go, "Oh,
now you're from Texas."
Yeah, well, the horse is going to look at me and go, "Oh, hell no, that big son of a bitch ain't getting on me."
We had to get you at Clydesdale.
Right, exactly. But no, I'm no stranger to horseback. It's just
no, I get you. I totally get you. I've got lots of horse stories.
I'm a little too doughboyish to be doing it now, but I'm getting there. I want to get back on the horse, literally, because I lettered in rodeo. If that ain't country, I'll kiss your butt. But so anyway, I mean, how many people do you know that lettered in rodeo and won the swine production award in high school, and that's their acclamations?
Yes, so there you go.
There you go. So, but anyway, we're doing that private investigation. We've been out there several times. We'll spend upwards to a week out in the field. My main research area, and that's down here in North Texas. My main research area is Brown Springs, Oklahoma. Which, if y'all look Brown Springs, Oklahoma up, that's very, very that's a hinky place. Place. We've got investigation footage and evidence and everything. In fact, we pulled probably the best physical evidence out of the field that's been pulled out of the field in probably decades.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Love it.
I've got fingerprints that we found on our trucks, handprints and fingerprints that we found on our trucks, and they're not human. Okay. The hand, they're human-esque, but the thumb is located down here, and the hands are smaller than ours. Okay. Not only that, the fingerprints, the dermal ridges, go horizontal.
I've heard a lot of people say it could be from not escaped, but things let go by the carnies.
Sure.
Like orangutan or something, but
well, hey,
I mean, how could that really survive though? And like, I don't know. Who's to say? Maybe they did. Who knows, right?
Well, there is a population of monkeys in South Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same as there is lions and and tigers. Not lions per se, tigers more so.
Well, we got tigers in Oklahoma, believe it or not, that escaped from the Tiger King Ranch. Right. But you got monkeys out in Florida. There's monkeys all over the place. But the thing about it is, these handprints, they're not primate, they're not human. They are a cross. Okay. And the fingerprints, the dermal ridges go horizontal. Now, the
Could
human,
they be extraterrestrial?
well, I can't rule that out, but a human fingerprint goes swirls without fail, swirls. Now, the interesting thing is, I was bumping around the internet several weeks ago, and I've ran across this article and this picture of this thumb, or is either a forefinger or a thumbprint, they don't know which, out of France. Okay, that they found next to a cave painting that they dated at 48,000 years old. Really? Yes. It's pretty much identical to the fingerprints that I pulled off my truck.
Wow.
So I don't care. I'm not saying we got Bigfoot roaming around. If you want that argument, I'm not saying it's Bigfoot. I'm not saying it's alien. I'm not saying it's this. But whatever it was, something was with enough DNA in it to have the same fingerprints, was running around 48,000 years ago, put handprints on my truck in 2023. I'm just saying.
That's weird. What?
And all those videos are on my
channel. A lot of stuff on Spirit Box about ancient stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I've been here thousands of years and stuff like that, which gives you the heebie-jeebies, right? Like, what am I talking to, you know?
Yeah, spirit. I've had some run-ins with spirit boxes, and I've had some pretty creepy experiences with those.
Yeah, 100%. So it's time for more shout outs. I'm going to put you up on the screen. I see you got some merch on. You show us your t-shirt.
Oh, yeah. It's got my logo on.
Porch. Love it. Check it out. Yep. And he's got his logo on his mic there in front of him.
I do.
Yeah. Yeah. So where can people find you and your merch and all that good stuff? And do you want to give any shout outs to your fans?
Oh, absolutely. I love my fans. They're the most respectful and knowledgeable people as far as, fans go. I almost hate calling them fans. They're more like family. I mean, we stay in touch.
Right. There you go.
I have an email. I have a phone number. So you can email me, you can text me, whatever you want to do. So, but yeah, don't forget it, folks. It's TEX' front porch. And we're on YouTube and anywhere you can find a podcast. We do have a Facebook group or page or whatever it is. I don't run it. Jason runs it. But if you say, please get this message to Tex, he will send a message to me. Okay. I don't do Facebook. I think if anything's evil out there, it's Facebook. But where you can find us. And we're all over the internet. So,
Well, thanks so much for being on the show today. We really appreciate having you on, Tex. You're making me homesick for Texas. I know I was telling you off here. I used to live down there for about 20 odd years. So, miss me some Texas.
Well, I'll tell you what, you come down here and visit, girl, I'll put you out in the woods.
Oh, that sounds fun. We'll have to go out on the horse.
There you go.
Now, everybody, you're listening in on UPRN, United Public Radio Network, 107.7 FM in New Orleans and 105.3 FM on that Gulf. We're going to leave you here now with some Bog Team 80s metal music. Thanks for being on the show, Tex. Everybody follow Texas Front Porch.
Thank you.
Peace out. Bye, y'all.
Where the whispers start, ghostly figures in the midnight hour, specters grip with icy cold power. Bigfoot's roar echoes through screams in the void.